Welcome to Living Life and Love.
I'm your host, Mark Braxton from Raleigh, North Carolina. This is a global vitiligo awareness and education podcast. You hear the true and authentic stories from people living with vitiligo. Yeah. You'll also hear from their loved ones, medical professionals, licensed mental health therapists, relationship counselors, global vitiligo support foundations, organizations, community leaders, and so much more. Sit back and enjoy living life in love.
Once again, I'm your host,
Mark Braxton. Raleigh, North Carolina.
Welcome to Living Life and Love. I'm your host, Mark Braxton from Raleigh, North Carolina. So on today's show, I have Jeremy Ward with me. Welcome, Jeremy.
How you doing?
Pretty good, man. Look, life is tough for everybody. School system, we're getting towards the end of the school year, so we're in survival mode. Man,
I know you need that break.
But you know what? I get a little bit of break, then I teach summer school.
Oh,
but
okay.
But the summer program is a little bit different. It's more fun. The kids still learn, but we also take them on trips and do different activities. So I look forward to that. But yeah, I need that break. I need that break big time. So how have you been?
I've been well, thank to God.
Okay.
Not complaining too much.
Absolutely. So, Jeremy, thank you for being on the podcast, and I wanted to have a little bit of discussion. Now, you've been on the show before when I was doing the podcast for Vit Friends,
right?
And we got, gosh, that was what, 5 years ago?
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, that's about 5 years. So it's been a long time. So, welcome back.
Oh, thank you.
So, you're welcome. So let's start it this way, because let's start off with vitiligo. Oh, before I do that, I want you to officially introduce yourself and tell people where you're from and anything else you want to share. Then we'll jump into your vitiligo story.
Okay. My name is Jeremy Ward. I'm born and raised in Greensboro, Georgia, but now I reside in Cleveland, Texas. Went to school at Prairie View A&M University.
Absolutely. So let's talk vitiligo. So, because this is a vitiligo centered podcast. However, I do like to talk about other things. So share a little bit about how long you've been living with vitiligo and what has your journey been like from the beginning to up to today?
My journey, kind of like everybody else's journey. It was like crazy. I had vitiligo since I was a 6-month-old baby. So I grew up in the teenage year with it, elementary school with it, adulthood with it. People ask me 1,000 times, maybe 20 million times, like, what's wrong with your skin? All that stuff. I got embarrassed in the store a couple times, and one thing about vitiligo, sometimes it confuses me, like why other races can see me totally different than my own people. And that stuck with me for a while, but I'm getting over that now, though.
Right. Yeah, vitiligo, I always say, is very, very interesting because I'm saying I'm on part 2 of my journey, because now I'm starting to, since last we talked, it's creeping up from my neck up into my chin. I'm starting to get some little light spots appearing on the side of my face and a little spot in the corner of my eye. So it's going to do what it wants to do, and I have the spot right here where you can see where it looks like a white patch, has vitiligo there too. And the big thing, like you said, you got to learn how to live, man. People are going to judge you. Sometimes your own people make you feel less than, because I feel like people don't know how to respond to us. They don't know what to say, and sometimes the things we say are more hurtful than anything else.
Right.
Now, let's backtrack on that a little bit. Did you do any treatments in that process?
No, sir. I never had no treatment. I just always been me.
Okay.
So,
cool.
I think God made me this way for a reason, so I never questioned it.
Right. Yeah, the only time I had treatment was in the very beginning when I was first diagnosed, and they gave me the cream, which if I would have known then what I know now, It didn't do anything for me because I'm putting it on my hands and feet, and it's made for the face. You
Right.
know. So I've just recently was participating in our nurses, not necessarily in their program, but I was like a featured guest. And one of the questions came up was like, why do I not want treatment? And I explained, I said, I'm learning to live my life, and that's what I want. I want to live my life. I said, now I'm not knocking anybody else who wants treatment because everybody needs something different.
Yes,
I
sir.
said, now if they had a cure, maybe I would consider. But then again, at this stage of my life, I'm 53. I'm like, let me just live. Um,
Right. I feel the same way.
yeah,
I'll be like, if I get a cure and it turn my skin like regular like y'all, then y'all like me. Why you couldn't like me without the cure? And so that's why I
absolutely,
never tried it. So I'm always me.
absolutely. And I like that you said that because I often say if somebody's going to like you, they're going to like you regardless of
Right.
what you look like, regardless of your ethnicity, your language. People like people for different reasons. And, you know, I know we sometimes feel like, oh, I want my skin to be one color.
Right.
That's just on the outside.
And then
You
and
want
then
somebody
too, I
like you
think
for the inside.
right. And then too, I
Go
think
ahead, sir.
vitiligo expose people for who they really are. Because you say you're this Christian person, this person,
Mm,
but you see me, you want to judge me and ask me all kind of questions. And so I'd rather have this skin because it expose
mm,
the people that need to be in my life and don't need to be in my life.
absolutely.
That's the way I see it.
There was another gentleman I spoke to in Charlotte. He said the same thing. He said, when you have vitiligo, it will weed out the people who shouldn't be there.
Right. It
Those
will.
who want to be in your life, they will stay.
Right.
Absolutely, man. So we talked briefly. I know a lot of times we focus on vitiligo, and that may be the top of what we talk about a lot. But as we live in our lives, we also deal with other ailments and things that impact us. I always talk about having severe allergies and asthma, and if I can't breathe, I don't care what my skin looks like. I'm trying to get a breath.
Right.
Um, do you want to? Would you like to share what you want to? Your journey with something new that's impacting you.
Yes. When I graduated Prairie View, I received a spinal cord injury. I had a major spinal cord surgery on October 22nd, and that changed my life forever because I've been wheelchair bound ever since.
Mm,
And so I was depressed and thinking like, oh, my life over with. Then plus vitiligo, and so I got on social media and I saw people in wheelchair living their life doing productive things. So that's when I went on Facebook and I saw these two little girls and they were talking about adoption and stuff. So I started doing my research. And I was saying that kids in foster care, when they get out, they turn to drugs and this and that. So that's when the Youth for Living Learning Center came an idea. And now I'm trying to just bring it into fruition.
right, right. And let's talk about it a little bit. I work with a student that had cerebral palsy, so he couldn't walk. He had very little mobility in his lower legs. Like he can move his toes a little, but his upper body strength is what I was working with him to develop because there are things I wanted him to be able to do on his own, instead of always having
Right,
to rely on me to lift him into certain areas or to do certain things. Um,
right,
but it was interesting watching him and watching this kid live his life and having so much fun. But here I am looking at my skin changing, and I'm going, "Oh man, vitiligo makes
that's
me
how I
look like
was.
this." Yeah,
That's what I was. I was like depressed. I got
yeah,
on Facebook, Instagram, I saw people in wheelchairs ski diving, doing this and that. I
yeah,
said, get off my butt and let me get back in the world. And so that's what I
yeah.
did.
And that's the thing. Look, nothing stops you. We stop ourselves.
Not to stop.
That's
We
the
stop
way I say
ourselves.
it. We stop ourselves. And I used to work a program at the YWCA when we had one there in North Carolina, in Raleigh, and we had young adults and older adults that were some were wheelchair bound, but they were out there playing basketball, having a good time. When we had like our little parties, they would get out there and do their little thing, whether they were in a chair or not. And I think about it, you know, we become our own crutch sometimes in the community. And this may not sound like the perfect thing to say for some people, but we do. We talk about vitiligo and how bad it is. But when you really put it in perspective compared to other conditions and things that people are dealing with, vitiligo is not at the top.
It's not at top at
It's,
all.
yeah, it's not gonna kill you. It can lead to depression and other things if you don't get the help you need, and that's
Right.
that mental health aspect of it.
Right. I understand that because especially when some people ain't never had in their life and they get 35 or 40, then all of a
Hmm.
sudden their whole life change. That could be depression with somebody. But like for me, I don't carried it so long
Right,
that it don't bother me like it used to.
right. And you know, Jeremy, and to me, that's the importance of like support communities and other people you can reach out to. Because life itself, I mean, you look at life today, there's a lot we could be depressed about. You know, you turn on the
Right.
news and then, you know, we're always fighting wars. And, you know, I tell people this is nothing new. When I was in college, we were fighting wars. There was Desert Storm, Desert Shield. There's
Right.
always been conflict. And we can get depressed over that because we're constantly hearing about it and
Right.
seeing it. But you got to seek help. You know, with vitiligo, find other people you can talk to, you know,
Right.
build those relationships and realize that there's more to you than just what's on your surface, you know.
You're right about that, sir. And that's why these kids today coming up now ain't gonna be like it was when I came up. Cause there was no social media at the time or none of
Right.
these groups. But now these kids and young adults, they have a better way and a better understanding of the world now.
Absolutely. And I teach third graders. Matter of fact, last time we talked, I wasn't teaching. I was working with kids with special needs, but now I'm actually teaching. Um, and I look at my students and the access to information is there, but we got to make sure we guide them to the right information because man, they
Right.
will absorb all this mess. But we do it too as adults. Let's be honest. We like entertainment, whether it's good or bad, what makes us feel good in the moment, what makes us laugh, and it's not always productive, you know. We You talk about our youth a lot, and we're going to get to that in a minute. Um, it is important for us to mold and shape our youth. And I say
Yes, sir.
us, it's our job,
Yes,
not
sir.
just as parents, but as mentors and educators and coaches. Like our kids really need us,
Oh, yes, sir.
you know. So let's talk about your business a little bit. How did you told me a little bit about how you got the idea, but let's dig a little bit deeper into it. Tell us more the title again and what are you looking to do in terms of helping our youth?
Yes, the title is Youthful Living Learning Center. It's a 24-hour campus. They're gonna have classes, lots of activity, studio, and have family housing. We're gonna help foreign students like they been them in exchange program. They ain't have nowhere to place them at. They can stay on my campus. Reason why I started this because I just feel like you see a 14-year-old or 15-year-old just throw their life away and want to go to prison, like society ain't trying to do nothing
Right,
about it. And so I don't think it's a lack of talent. I just think sometimes we don't believe in our young people. So that's what um powered me to do what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to steer a lot of these kids just throwing their life away 14, 15 years old.
right. And you know what's sad? It starts when they're younger and how they see themselves. What I've observed with some of our young people, they don't have they don't have any encouragement. They have low self-esteem. They I hear
Right,
students sometimes say, I can't do something. Well, how do you know you can't do it if you didn't try? I said,
right,
and trying and failing doesn't mean that that's the end of it. You just try harder next time. Um, and I like how you said that. Like, we don't want our kids throwing their lives away at all.
right. And so this program I'm building. You gotta meet these kids where they at. You know what they into, like TikTok and
Yep.
music and stuff like that, and the arts. And so that's why a lot of my programs are like that. So I'm trying to meet them where they at, not trying to like tell them what to do. And I ain't want to be the center, so they just be somewhere they can go and ain't learning nothing. So we on to
Right.
do banking, financing, and even I got a court program teaching all about
Hmm.
the juvenile justice system before you get in trouble. Our
Right.
program will teach you what the law's about. Then you'll know not to make that mistake. And so it's gonna be like a full courtroom and all that, prosecuting all that. That's part of my program.
Wow.
And you can find all the information on my website at youthforlivingcenter.com.
And I'll make sure that's in the end of this podcast so people can actually, go to it. And but what you're saying are there are real life things. I like that with the banking, learning how to bank, with the
Yes, sir.
court system, understanding the court system and how it works from, like you said, from like the trial lawyers having a mock trial
Right.
um and not
So,
waiting until somebody's in the system.
right. And so that's what I'm trying to do because, that's just nothing but prison to pipeline. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the 13 minutes said you go to prison, you come back a slave. And these
Mhm.
are corporations making big money off black bodies. You want to be understanding about it. And so I don't want to see that no more without you. I know I can't say all of them. I'm damn
Right.
sure try to say most of them I can.
Absolutely. And that's important because, when you look at, I feel like when you look at society, you look at social media, like they want to give our kids garbage. They want to give our
Right,
kids, as the kids call it, brain rot, you know.
right.
And I had a conversation with students about that. I said, that's not a good thing. I said, I don't want your brain to rot. I need you to build, I need you to learn, I need your brain to grow. I said, there's so much knowledge that you have that you can have, and to do it for good purposes to help other people. And we have a lot of kids, no matter where they're from, because sometimes we look at neighborhoods. Oh, that child's going to
Right.
be great. That child's going to be. Stop looking at neighborhoods. Stop looking at how much money a family has, and look at how intelligent that student is. Or
That's the whole point.
right, and also providing support for students that need extra help. You know, because I think sometimes we forget about the students. Maybe they can't read as well as some other child, or maybe they
Right.
don't know their math like other kids. Give them that support and challenge them and let them know I'm not going to let you fall. I'm here with you. And I think that that's a big part of it. And I like what you're doing.
And then too, I got tired of seeing, how like sibling got a babysit they brother, they 12, 13 years old. They got to babysit their young sisters or brothers,
Right.
and they can't be no kid because they trying to be a parent. And so
Yeah.
that's why I built this center too, because I want everybody to just be who they are. And I don't want no sibling have to be watching their little brother. That's what it's center for. Everybody come and they're learning. It's 24 hours every day, 7 days a week. And so you want to be at home trying to watch your sibling. They'll be in my center. Everybody learns something. Your sibling be doing
Right.
their stuff, and you'll be doing your thing. It's age
Oh,
appropriate for the
that's
levels I
cool.
got.
And yeah, that's a big issue because even with young kids I work with, some of them take care of their siblings when they get home. And and
Right,
yeah.
right. That's what I'm
And there's
saying.
a time as an educator, I have to step back and to say, you know what? They're 8 and 9 year olds. Go be an 8 and 9 year old. Go do weird stuff. Go, they fall out of their chairs and they're making
Right,
random noises that they think are funny. And I can't always get
right.
mad at them because I have to remember they're still kids, and kids still want to be kids. No matter what they're learning, they still want to be kids. Um, and
Right.
we have to
That's
look at them as that too, because let's be honest with our black and brown students, or youth, the world doesn't see them as kids. They see them as little adults,
nice to
and
them
they're
as
going to treat them as such. So we've
adults
got to
and,
have
and,
these
and like
programs to
adult,
support them.
adults and then treat them as adult and a dog sign to prison. That's what they
Yeah.
see, a slave. And then too, like these single mothers, our girls get pregnant early and then they don't have nowhere to go, they get kicked out. And so we got a housing for them. Single mother program, teach them, budgeting and how to
Okay.
raise the kids. Got that. Single father program, got that. And then too, got some for the veterans. They go fight for their country, and then they be homeless
Hmm.
on the street, ain't got nowhere to go. I got a sister living for all the veterans, like different branches of where they serve in the United States, like a Coast Guard, they got their own place. Navy, Army, Marine, Air Force. They
Oh
got their
wow.
own housing division. There's so much stuff I
Wow.
got. It's gonna help the community immensely.
And I, like I said before, I'll make sure we put all this information out because it's going to be important for people to know, hey, if I'm in this now, are you just serving just your community or is it open to people in the surrounding cities and towns?
Yes, I say what my dream is to start 'em here in Texas
Hmm.
and then franchise them. I
Okay.
want to put them in all over America because kids need help everywhere, not just Texas. That's the
Right.
dream, is to franchise 'em.
Okay. Okay. And, and that's good because I'm thinking we need centers like that to provide support for people, and we need organizations and funding to support programs like that.
Right,
Because that's what's going to be important too, and key is having that funding um,
right.
and
And
support. Because
then
I know, I'm sorry, I was going to say, people
go ahead.
they'll go pay money for the Chris Brown Usher concert,
Right.
but you're not going to put money into a program that's going to help our youth.
Right. And then too, I got like a hotel management program. I want to build like a real life hotel and teach the kids how to run it.
Oh
And
wow,
like they get real uh training like customer service and all that stuff. That's how to run a hotel. They call hotel
wow,
management. And they'll be trying to run a real hotel. And then I got a whole bunch of medical clinic because I ain't want to be able like if the kid gets sick, on the property, I got to drive them 80 miles to the hospital.
right,
So I'm building a whole hospital on the property too.
wow.
So that way they get sick, they just right there. We take care of everything right there.
Right. Now, are you also building a partnership? I'm just sitting here thinking a partnership with the school systems. That would be great because you think about like
Yes,
your
sir, yes,
seniors,
sir.
how they can start
Yes, sir.
working. Was it junior year? I
Yes,
can't remember.
sir.
It's been such a long time.
Yes, sir. I'm in contact with the school board and the Department of Family and Children, like for the foster kid. I talked to the sex trafficking victim people too, and then too I got a homeless and recovery center, like a male shelter and a female shelter with they have food,
Right,
class, and everything, drug rehab. Try to get them back on their feet. Most of them you can anyway.
right,
There's a
right.
whole bunch
Wow.
of stuff. When you look at my website, you can see there's a whole bunch of stuff I'm offering.
And, I really think about that. We need that because sometimes when I'm driving, oh, if I'm at a light, I wish I could help this person beyond,
Right,
sometimes they ask for a few dollars. That's only going to help you out for maybe a couple of hours. Maybe you get something to
right,
eat. But sometimes I'm like, why are we not creating programs to help people?
right,
To get them off the street or give them the training they need, are young
right,
and old people.
right. And that's what I'm trying to do. With God help. I'm just a
Absolutely.
one man show of a wheelchair right now, but I'm doing it.
Yeah. And you know what I say? Anything starts with the plan. No, you got to have an eye. No, it doesn't start with a plan. It starts with a vision or a dream.
Right,
And
right.
and if you have that dream, you make that dream your vision, then that vision becomes a plan. It could happen. Then you start gaining that support for people because people see that there's a need.
Right.
And and I think you get the right people on board to back you, it's going to go exactly where you want it to go. And you talk about
Yes, sir.
franchises in other states. Yeah,
Yes, sir. And that's my part. I'm trying to, help many people I can, not just the youth, but the old people, people serving the military, anybody in trouble that need help, that want an opportunity. I'm trying to present it to them.
absolutely. And I hate to bash celebrities, which I shouldn't do it because I don't know them personally. But I know a lot of times they give to charities. But I'm thinking, and it's not all celebrities because there are some that are doing great things like creating centers and things to help people, just
Right,
similar to what you're doing. But it would be nice if more people would say, hey, we need to help others. I have millions of dollars that's just sitting in the bank. Why can't I help an upstart program, let's say like yours, to get
right,
its feet off the ground and get moving so we can help more people. Because let's think about the way this world is going and the way people are losing their jobs. We're going to need help. People are going to
Right,
need that support.
right. And then too, I'm trying to franchise with the fast food brand, so they can put like like those stations like McDonald's inside the youth center. That way they get on the
Mm,
job training and learn how to run a business too. And so
right,
that's
right.
what I'm trying to partnership with them too.
Yeah. And you know what disheartens me sometimes when I hear people talk, how they down people working at McDonald's, how they down people working at fast food or custodians. But
Right,
people have to pick up a trade. That's how you start. You learn things first. Young people
right,
go working at McDonald's. They're learning how to run the cash register, what's happening behind the scenes that we don't see. They're learning how to
right,
cook, understanding temperatures and all these things that we take for granted because we just go up there and
right,
spend our money, eat our food, whether it's McDonald's or other restaurants. But they're getting, like you said, on the job training. And who
right.
knows that person wants to become a franchise owner or the manager. And I've heard people down people. Why would somebody want to work at McDonald's? Well,
Right.
maybe they
And then
want to own their
also
own business.
offering like a ethics class, how to teach them at corporate function, how to eat at a corporate dinner and stuff like that. And so I'm offering
Yes,
that too.
yes. Yeah, there's a lot our youth need.
Right,
I talk about manners with my students all the time. I said that, when there's a way to act in public, there's a way to act in private when you're at home. I said, be
right.
mindful of what you do in public because people are judging you even if they don't know you.
You right about that.
You know, how everything from how you walk, how you talk, how you carry yourself, how you shake somebody's hand, how you greet people, all those things matter.
All the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
So,
it ain't about what you know, it's who you know. And your
absolutely.
rep is all you got at the end of the day.
Yeah. I've had to stop one of the students one day because he walked up to me. He was like, "Yo, what's up, Mr. Braxton?" Stop, stop, stop. First of all, you're gonna say good morning, and
Right,
you can keep the Mr. Braxton, and you're gonna shake my hand, not dapping you up. Shake my hand. And he was like, "Oh, okay," because like you got to show them the right way to do things,
right,
Because I wanted this child to understand when we're not buddies, we're not peers.
right,
I'm your elder at this point, and I want you to be able to address other people in the public by
right,
learning how to shake hands and learning how to greet people. So,
right.
yeah, man, that's good stuff you got going on.
Yes, sir. I'm just trying to, like I said, trying to be a light to somebody's tunnel. You know what I mean?
Right, right, absolutely. Um, what are some other organizations you're looking to partner with?
Many as I can, like a lot of nonprofit, a lot of black organization, school, and many people I can, individual,
Okay,
corporate sponsors, and many people I can. I'm open for a team because I want the right people to help these kids, not do
right,
more harm to them. So I'm trying to get
right.
the right people on board.
Absolutely. And I would also say, connect whether you believe in them or not, everybody says different thoughts, but like the Greek letter organizations,
Yes, sir.
because they have a connection that maybe sometimes we don't have.
Right,
Well, I'm in one too, but there are connections there, in the business world. And if you connect, maybe they know somebody else who can put you in with the right person that can guide this even further than what you want.
right.
The Chamber of Commerce. It's a little bit of everything,
Yes, I
uh,
talk to them. I'm talking to the Black Chamber of Commerce and the regular commerce, and I'm talking to a lot of different organizations.
absolutely. Good, good. And hopefully one day, and I'm just gonna put this out there that maybe during one of our Unite sessions with Vit friends with GVF, maybe they can give you an opportunity to share, or maybe they can spotlight you in one of their newsletters about what you're doing in the community with building this program.
Yes, sir. Anything
Yeah,
can help. Anything can help. I
absolutely. And
appreciate it.
and I'll see what I can do on my end to help, make that happen. Can't say I got all the strings to pull, but maybe I can pull a few.
Yes, sir. Anything you can do, I appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, now, have you attended any conferences?
To my vitiligo conference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Washington D.C. and Detroit.
Okay, okay,
And after that, I had my spinal cord injury. I ain't be able to go no
right,
more after that. I've been
okay,
to
right.
D.C. and Detroit.
And see, I didn't know anything about the conferences back then.
Right.
So I missed all of them. I didn't go to my first one was actually the virtual ones, 2020,
Okay.
2021. And then my first in person was Minnesota. And this year we have it in Charlotte. And
Okay.
yeah, we have some big things. So it's we're recognizing the 10th year anniversary of the first conference leading up to 2025. And then
Yes, sir.
2026 starts off the next 10. So yeah, we're gonna have a big celebration. And what we'll do is make sure we post pictures and any video footage for those who can't make it.
Yes, sir.
Because it's sold out. This is the first year we've had a sold out conference.
Yes, sir. I
Yeah,
saw a lot
years
of people
past.
say they're gonna team when I was on Facebook.
Yeah, it's years past. I think the average conference has had about 175, maybe
Right.
almost 200, possibly. But we didn't know we were going to reach capacity, and even they opened up a wait list with a few more spots, and that filled up. I think
Wow.
these conferences are getting bigger and bigger, and I'm
Yeah.
praying and hoping that one day you can make it to a conference.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get to one soon or later.
Yeah,
Again, cause
yeah,
it's nothing like a conference though. Time go by fast, but you just be around your family and it's just a beautiful
absolutely.
thing.
Absolutely. And that's what people don't understand. They think a conference boring. Yeah, we're gonna have to sit and listen. There's information that we have to give out. But it is gonna this year, we're really gonna celebrate not living with vitiligo per se, but living your life. We're gonna celebrate each other, um, people from around the world. Like this is just gonna be a big celebration. And who knows what's going to happen next year. And this is the last year that a support community will host a conference.
Okay.
So next year there'll be a committee that will have it. We're not sure where it's going to be. We'll find out after the conference. Um,
Okay.
so we're trying to do it. We're trying to do it big. You know,
Yeah, I understand, but and one thing about the Vitiligo conference, they the only people that know what you live with on an everyday basis,
absolutely.
and that's what I like about it.
There's no judgment. Like
No judgment at all.
we know what you're going through. We know what it's like to walk into a room and people
Right.
stare, and you know,
Right.
and we know what
And
it's like to.
that's what I appreciate about it the most,
Yeah,
that they know how I'm feeling,
yeah,
and I can
yeah.
talk to them without any judgment. Than a person without vitiligo, they don't have no idea what I go through.
Right. And I've had somebody, I'm glad you said that, person without vitiligo, I've been told, well, it's okay. I don't see it. Well, that's because you don't live with vitiligo. I see
Right.
it every day. Some days I don't think about it. Doesn't mean I don't see it.
Right.
But for you to say it's okay, well, you don't know how it feels
Right.
to want to wear shorts and walk outside and people staring at your legs. Or
Right.
when I was in Dallas, quick story, I was laughing. My son called onto this too. It's a little girl and her brother walking next to me as we're going into the into the field, not the field, but the stadium for the graduation. And I saw the little girl look at my hands. She looked at me, looked at my hands, tapped her brother, pointed. Look, if I didn't pay it, I could see out of my peripherals. I'm like,
Right.
oh, she's recognizing the vitiligo. She's trying to figure this out. Then later, I was talking to my son. I said, "You see the little girl with the?" He said, "Yeah, I saw her. I saw what she was doing." I said, "Yeah, it's funny." I said, "People are like that. Like they're curious if they don't know
Right.
or they've never seen vitiligo. They're like, wow, what happened to that person's skin?"
Right.
But then I'm like this. I'm living. I'm there for the graduation. Y'all can look at my skin all you want. I'm gonna have my hands out. I'm gonna wave and whatever I'm
Right.
gonna do. You know, I can't worry about what other people think anymore.
Yeah, you can't. You can't. You can't.
Yeah,
That's what, like
and,
I
and
said,
I say anymore because I used to.
right, right. When I was coming up, I had to grow up early. If I didn't grow up the way I did, I probably been in prison somewhere. So I had to struggle off early because,
Yeah,
like I said, with no conflict, no social media when I was growing up. You know,
right.
I was like fighting every day. You know what I mean? And then I decided, I said, I can't fight people every all the time the rest of my life. So I started sticking up and got tough, and I didn't even worry about it no more after 5th grade.
Yeah, and that's how it is. We have a little girl in my school. She's second grade. And she just started. Wow, she's only been at the school now for about maybe 2.5 months. But what I did, I had a presentation in honor of her. So I went down to her class and I shared information about living with vitiligo. And this little girl is the happiest little girl. When you see her, Mr. Braxton, she comes, runs, giving me hugs, high five, and that's what I want her to feel
Right,
normal,
right,
feel like everybody else. If you're going to go into the playground to play, go play. If you're going to go in the
right,
cafeteria to eat, go eat.
right.
But I think our biggest thing, if we normalize our lives and not focus so much on our skin, other people not going to pay it any attention. They'll see it, but they'll be like, okay,
Right, right. You're right about that.
yeah, that person's moving with confidence. That's what they're going
Right,
to see. Not, ooh, look at their skin. Well, they might still say that, even if they do. Oh well,
right.
you know,
It just
this
rub
is
all the
still my
shoulders.
skin.
You keep walking. That's all.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Jeremy, we're going to bring this conversation to an end, but before we wrap things up, as before, I always ask my guests to leave the listeners with some words of encouragement and anything else you want to add, and then I'll wrap us up from there.
Oh yes. Anything you're going through, know you got God. Keep praying, cause whatever you're going through, somebody else worse is going through that. So just keep your head up. Keep praying. Keep moving forward like I'm doing. You'll be okay.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's key. When we sometimes think we're at our worst, there's somebody else dealing with something else that could be worse than that. When I went to Hill Day couple years ago, I went in thinking my vitiligo was the worst thing ever until I met somebody else who was dealing with another skin disease that if they didn't get treated, they may no longer be on this earth,
Right,
and it made me put things into perspective. This person's fighting for survival and I'm fighting maybe for sanity, who knows? But I'm
right.
like, I say I can't compare, I say yes, vitiligo does make me look different. It makes the world see me differently, but it's not going to stop me from doing anything I want to do at all.
You're right about that.
You know, I stop me. Yeah.
Right.
Well, Jeremy, once again, sir, I appreciate you being here, and let's stay in contact. That was a long 5 years. I didn't even realize it was 5 years until I looked
Yeah, it was
back. I was
5
like,
years. It was
man,
a long time.
yeah,
It was a
yeah,
long
20.
time.
Just doesn't seem like 2020 was, well, 6 years now. Looking back,
Right,
I'm like, man, that's a long time. But
right.
I'm glad we able to reconnect, and I'll be staying in contact with you. And I couldn't help you out as best I can. I will try to reach out and make some contacts with different people as well.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And for my listeners out there, thank you for tuning in. You have been listening to Living Life and Love. I'm your host, Mark Braxton from Raleigh, North Carolina. But before I end this, I'm going to do this like I always do. It is so important for you to show love. We're living in a society that right now says love is not important. Hate is what you should be showing. Hate your neighbor, hate this person because of how they speak or how they look or where they're from. No, we need to start loving each other more and more and more. Our kids need to see us loving each other. We need to see each other, loving one another. We need to love our neighbors, our spouses, our colleagues. Love is so important. And most of all, you got to make sure you take time to love yourself. Once again, you've been listening to Living Life and Love. My guest is Jeremy Ward. Thank you, sir, for being here.
No
And y'all
problem.
take care. Yes, and peace.
Peace.
Don't be afraid, my skin won't hurt you. It's not contagious, I speak the truth. It's just marble etched with the patterns of love. I pray you stay with be. You're the only one I think of. I see fear in your eyes, I feel the nervous twitch from your hand. I assume it's the first time you've fallen in love with this type of man. I need you to know that vitiligo is not contagious. No need to flee. Love me with your heart, not your head. A true love is